First one. Okay, so you sign this. This one is done. The time is 10:35 p.m. First, I gotta put the date. Okay. Okay, so we have, let me see, there is, okay, so I just completed Fee Turn, the Methods of Humility Return, and here it goes. Seeing the cracks in the mirror, building the beggar's fat, whistling like old churches drowning in Christmas lights on my mind like a 1,000-pound breadbasket. I turn to face the calling mantra yesterday like a loophole in time, observing the honey and brown sugar hands reaching out toward me, remembering us, remember us, love us as you love yourself. In this sarcastic, almost silent slur, I drop everything I own to run for the door, to look beyond the skyrise, to see just a couple of 100 miles to the south. I almost rise to the sight, taller than 70 feet, howling so viciously that our communication becomes skin deep. In my creative, I love no other, but my pockets cry of an empty time. Indeed, I bowed under the rubber. I snatched small pieces of bone fragments on the fly. My wrist again bound to the burn, the chattering arthritis like clockwork, watching every turn. I sit in silent pillars, just pushing my cart. I got everything I need except the one challenge that's challenging me. The banging in between my ears, the tension in my knees, the quivering hiding within, the cracking whip of my beating heart. Please, somebody believe me. Break this silent code. And like the ways of old, I'm just so slow as I leave, blood following me. my sweat puddling beneath my turning feet. Okay. That one was, let me see. Turn back to one. This is feet turn, the methods of humility return. Okay, so let me just make sure I leave a space for the picture. I don't know what kind of picture these are going to be, but hopefully they'll be beautiful ones. Photo of you. Okay, so let's see if we go back. This is definitely, this one compared to the original, because I can see in the original feet turn, I was definitely where I was in time. I can see pockets missing, like the day was completed, and whatever I was asking kind of just got erased in the memory. But in this one, this is definitely reminiscent of what I think about day to day. The things that hustle through my mind. Why I have calluses on the bottom of my feet, thinking so hard that my brain pushes my frame down to keep me still from running away from where I am. And like while I'm walking forward, I'm kind of grinding my feet into the ground from the pressure. This is definitely me looking back on Virginia and seeing the people I may have befriended there just saying, when are you going to come back? And then I see how by having a 9 to 5, I killed off many characters from my artistry. Having to bend beneath a boss when in actuality I am a boss. And just having to sacrifice so many things, that very vivacious energy just got smothered out in time. And in me needing to sacrifice it to return to that power, I literally stretched myself in my eyes as far and as big as I can, and I literally look to the south about 400 miles, and I actually see where the invitation is coming from. But then while I'm getting into it, just as I'm feeling a burn, my wrist starts to give in to the pain. The arthritis is winning again. And then thinking, oh, I've wasted too much time typing my words out instead of exercising my wrist with my pen. But then when I wake up, I'm somewhere so deep and present, I don't realize how hollow I'm becoming. And it's usually when I'm in a supermarket, I'd be so like under my clothes, in my brain fragments, that my body starts waking up there, and the heat from the pummel, I just start cracking. I just start sweating right underneath my clothes. I'm so on this breaking point, but not breaking at all. Just that one moment is breaking, but the rest of me is just rolling forward. And I'm just waiting for someone to say, I see you struggling beneath the surface. I see you. Wake up. And it never happens. I get comfortable whizzes for me to do it myself. And I was like, I always do it myself. That's why I'm rolling forward. But it's this one thing in me that needs an alien touch. And that alien touch never happens. So I end up just supporting this struggling artist the entire time. Even when I'm leaving the store and all my blood and sweat is just being turned into footprints as I'm leaving the store. And then my turning feet give me away. Very simple, not too difficult. Let me put this. Okay. Well, hold on, and we're actually gonna walk a little bit. I gotta turn the lights off in my room. Alright, I gotta close the curtains. I have to turn off these old Christmas lights. Hold on. Okay. I should be still here. Okay. Now I gotta find my way to my bed. Okay. I didn't really do too much research today. I started listening to this book by James Baldwin full of short stories, but something in me tired down so bad. I didn't have the energy to do anything. And I said, if something's beating me, I'm just gonna have to speak how I feel. Part of me wanted just to talk about, I just want to talk about relationships. And I was just watching Gary Owen, very funny comedian out of Ohio, and he talked about how when he was like a teenager, he learned how to like people who liked him, and to stop sweating over the people you chase after. Because a lot of times, whatever time or distance between us, it's created standards that certain people live by. Like this guy I had a crush on when I was younger. He would never like me today. Because he's fit and he's conceited. He's that type where women flock to him. He's like a beach guy. He's got to be where the flesh is. And some stupidity in me is chasing him around. Like, I need him to like me, to give me some type of validation in his world. But if he doesn't, then what? What do I do? So now I was listening to him today, and it really hit the right place. It said, stop stressing, stop bugging, and just like those who like you. That's where the magic happens. I'm just going to like people who like, just like those who like you. Because you don't know the guy who likes you, who looks at your body and just like likes you even more. That's where your body gives you the magic that isn't there. In that dry place where you're chasing the guy that doesn't chase you back. And then you're just like, and then in my mind, I'm like, I wonder what kind of guy likes me. And then I'm so glad it's coming from a blind place. Because if I go after my eyes, what my eyes look at, I'll lose every time. So almost like I hope I'm blind to this experience. Because I'm trying to love you from the inside out. And I don't care what my eyes have to say about it. This is going to be the hardest lesson. I think I come from a family who, I think they have look issues. They base their everything on looks, looking good, being with people that look good or compliment their style. I try to feed into that, but I have terrible outlooks that way. And there's so many wonderful guys who, they just like me more than I like myself. And that's so dangerous. It can be dangerous. It really can be. I'm trying to do that. Seeing how, but not the stupid kind, because that guy will hit on you and you think he likes you that way, but by the time you realize that you have to keep grounded in your feet, he done swept you away, and now you're just holding on to him for dear life, and whatever holding on to him means, that's where the stupidity comes in. Because if you're holding on to somebody who has a control, you're just submitting to him to keep so you don't get swept away, and 9 times out of 10 you give up your most prized possession, which is your security and your self-control. Once you lose that, a lot of people don't get it back. And they spend their entire life chasing someone who has a control over them. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, I should know better. I have a twin brother who's like runs around in that world every day, but it seems like I just don't know. It's like I don't know how that is. Like my brother is the same way. He dates a certain kind of girl. They all have a certain kind of look. They're like beach body blondes or foreign, or if it's a black girl, she's like a baddie. It's a certain type of girl he's always with. And I know that it's so upfront in my world, it's so present that I forget it's there. I really forget it's there. It's almost like I'm so comfortable with the way that world runs that I can sit next to celebrities and I'm comfortable. It's like, for some reason, I know this way. I know how this world is. Like, my mom is kind of the same way. She's that beach body type in her mentality. I'm like, that's so crazy that the two of them are like twins. And I'm like the oddball out here. I was like, nah, I'm really an artist, though. Like, I would love to walk in through, like, those Terror Squad doors and then just get lost in the art world. Like, you come in a certain way, and then all of a sudden I end up in Hollywood writing for, like, really famous people or helping artists or making, designing clothes, like, on that end. Not necessarily on the stage, but that backstage where I can really hide. I can really hide beneath my style and just come up with great content. Like great poetry and printing that poetry on t-shirts and posters and painting things and creating looks and just becoming a philanthropist. Like, that's where I'm thriving, but I just don't know how to get through the streets to get to that place. I know I got to pick up some type of art form on the way, but I just don't know how to not look through my eyes while doing it. Because if I look at my eyes, if my eyes frighten, I follow suit. It's just how I am. But trying to go through it blindly when you've done something blindly before and it turned out bad, it's a hell of a concrete breaker.